Feathers have been ruffled. Episode 1.
Oh God, multiple feathers have been ruffled. I've been talking to old man Eric Wolf and talking to Wayne and trying to come up with some solution to get a match, but it just seems like there's like more and more problems. Like one guy wants money, the other guy doesn't care about money. One guy wants WAL rules, one guy wants WAF rules, and like, but what? It's like, dude, just talk to each other.
Hey, how about we fucking arm wrestle?
There's a thought.
Anyway, so what we're doing right now is Ed. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're watching the rest of your video.
Could be detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, Greg is freaking on it. I don't know how many edibles he took, but the man is talkative. Oh, look at that.
Toasted coconut.
Looks pretty good.
Oh, man. Actually, I have a non-infused blueberry Pop-Tart that's got your name written all over it tomorrow. Yes, sir. Pop-Tart man himself.
Yep, that's the key to my gains. So on this part here, I think you're talking about steroids or me being on steroids or something like that. So I am not on steroids. I am on TRT, which is not steroids. So
pretty much the whole episode, pretty much the whole video is about fucking steroids, right? And I feel bad because I wouldn't have had Josiah on if that was the case.
Yeah, Josiah and like Brugger, it's like they hear stuff like that. Then I think Brugger said like, hey, should I be on steroids too? Or like, should I be taking TRT? And,
right.
That's a dark hole you don't want to enter.
Very true. What's up, Jake, in the chat?
I would say if you can't commit to a sport, let's say like you want to be the best arm wrestler, right? And you can't commit to the training, you can't commit to the tournaments and stuff like that. You shouldn't be talking about taking drugs and things like that because you can't commit fully anyway.
I don't know if you've seen, if I've gotten there yet on this video, but I basically say in your first 5 years, I don't recommend it. Maybe 3, depending on who you are, like you, maybe in your first 3 years, because you already have a strength background and all those kind of things. But yeah, like I think first 5 years, become a pro first, find out how seriously you want to take the sport, how seriously you want to take your health, what kind of every type of position you're in, relationship, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, you may like arm wrestling for 1 year, you may like arm wrestling for 6 months, and you might quit.
These are not things to fuck around with. Your health is a big deal,
Yeah, the thing with TRT is what happens is, so your body produces testosterone on its own. When you get on the TRT, your balls will shrink. Your body will not produce testosterone on its own. And so let's say you're a kid, 18 years old, you have, 900, 1,000 testosterone level. You get shut down, that shit's to 0. You're on the injections. And then you say you want to stop, you stop, and then let's say it never comes back. So during the treatment, I'm assuming you're using the clinic, you're going to be like infertile, and you may never get back fertility. And you're 25, and you're like, oh shit, I regret doing that.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of factors that go into it, and when you're 30, 35. Even maybe late 20s, you have a little bit more wherewithal as far as to how far you want to take that stuff, I think.
Yeah, Jesse said he had heart problems and stuff like that. I mean, that's a possibility too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a risk that, like we've been talking about in the chat a lot. All these bodybuilders, there's a lot of people dying. There's a lot of people that overdoing it. Yeah. This Levon guy would be a great example of just how far you can take your body in a short amount of time for something. Like a sport. Hold on 1 second. I want to tell Mo something quick. Hey, Mo. Not for stream party. That was me.
How many people we got in the chat?
Okay.
Can you see how many people we have in the chat?
Yeah, I think it's just Jake. Oh, shit.
What's up, Jake? See, Jake has a bright future. And I'm not saying that because he's the only one watching. Jake should not do steroids.
No, he should not. There's a lot of people that don't. I told Josiah he shouldn't. I don't think Brugger needs to. I don't think Aaron needs to. I think he's too young to be taking them.
I think for Aaron, if he can fix me on this one, but I think he was low before. If you look at pictures of him before, he kind of looks like kind of like a skater guy or whatever, and he lifted weights. He wouldn't get too much progress. So he started on TRT like what he was supposed to. I don't know. He'll have to tell you on that one. I don't know. That's just what he told me.
Me, bro. I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn when it comes to this kind of thing because I'm not big, I'm not strong. But when you look at my body, maybe the difference between what it was a year ago, I mean, you can definitely tell that I work out when you look at me. And I don't think that was the case maybe a year ago. You didn't look at me and think, oh, that dude lifts weights or that dude is a strong dude.
Well, you said some people thought you were on steroids, right?
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying is,
how
dude,
dare they?
Go to the gym and fucking work out. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the reason why Aaron looked like a skater boy and never looked like is because he never did hard. I don't know, but like all I know is I know it's not easy to get big. I know it's not easy to get strong. I know it doesn't happen overnight. And I know that the main reason why people take steroids is to fix those issues that I just said right there. And then, you've heard of many people say it before where it's like, you can't just take steroids and be a stronger human. You have to be doing something as well, working out, working at your craft, training, whatever it may be.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
There's so much fucking hypocrites with this whole steroid or TRT thing. I'll give you a great example.
Oh, yeah.
So me versus Alex, right? So he was pretty bummed about his loss, right? So my natural testosterone level was 400. His when he tested it from before, when we talked about it like this a long time ago, he said his was 900, and he would take supplements and stuff to get it to 900. Okay, so I'm at 400. He's at 900. Don't you think that's an unfair advantage? Right?
I mean, unfair when both are on something. When they're both natural levels, there's no advantage or disadvantage. That's just how the cookie crumbles when you get to the table. But if one guy's shooting 1,000,000 times more than the other guy, and then that happens to be the result when it gets to the table, then absolutely, then there is an advantage.
Yeah, the way I think about it, I mean, everyone has different opinions. Is let's say I get on stuff, right, the TRT, whatever it is, and I'm up to 1,000, right?
Yeah.
And he's at 900, so we're a lot closer. So okay, I look at that like we're at an even playing field.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. So if you're gonna complain about me, doing stuff or whatever it is, I mean, you look at guys like RVJ who have 20-inch arms naturally. I'm assuming he's natural because he's so anti-steroids, right?
Right.
So if he's at a high testosterone level naturally, it's very easy for him to say, "Oh, anti-steroid this," because he's never had to deal with the low testosterone level.
Right.
He's always been fucking jacked.
Right. Yeah, and the way I look at it is, especially when it comes to TRT, is there are people who suffer with low testosterone levels for whatever reason it be, whether they're a sedentary lifestyle, a diet, their job, whatever it may, stress levels, whatever it may be. It just
microplastics, dude. Everything is fucking terrible for you.
There's a lot of things that go into
breathing.
And for those people to say, oh, I have to suffer and I want to be a high elite athlete or I want to be the best at whatever I do, but I have to suffer because of those things, I don't agree with that. I think that those people should be, and I think a doctor would recommend those people to try to take those things. But what I find to be a problem is people of young age that see the next best thing and heard that's what they're taking, so that's what they're going to take, and then they end up fucking themselves, like we were talking earlier about fertility or their stress levels or their mindset or their mentality at 30 changing because of what you did in your younger 20s. I just think you have a better grasp when you're our age as far as like how far you want to go with it. You know, when you're
Mhm.
when you're young, 21 or 22, or even worse, a Josiah's age, you're like, we're just gonna ride this fucking wave and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, if this shit
Yeah.
really works for me, then why the fuck am I gonna get off of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the problem with steroids and things like that is the reason people take them, the reason drugs are addictive is because they work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
people will throw their lives away for, crack and meth and stuff, not because those drugs are terrible, it's because they're great. You know, let's say you have a lot of problems, you take crack or whatever, meth, whatever it is, everything is fixed, in your head, right?
yeah.
So that's
It's
why people
actually
get
funny.
addicted to that stuff.
It's funny that you say that because the chat was going crazy while I was getting my haircut about the whole steroid stuff while I was reading it, and I really was thinking a lot about it like a meth. Like, I'm like, if you look at what you're taking as something to be ashamed of, and you wouldn't be willing to share it with everybody else, then you probably shouldn't be taking it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just as easy as that. You know, if you're open with what you take and you're able to make the explanations for why you do meth or whatever it is that you do, and it makes sense in your head and you're okay with it, then that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
But we all know why there are negative connotations to meth, and we all know why there are negative connotations to steroids. They've been around long enough for us to know, what's going on, and then it also goes with a that just released a video. If you're not familiar with CBum, if anybody's not familiar with Chris Bumstead, he's like the most aesthetic man in the world. He won Olympia 3 times in a row. Highest level athlete, power bodybuilder, and he just went through his cycle and things that he talks about. And that's the very first thing, and it says in his very first scene is about abuse, and how important that is. So yeah, man, I don't ever plan on doing it. I'm gonna try to do this as long as I can naturally, and try to promise myself that this is not important enough for me to do that. But I will say this: I do plan on getting to the highest level of arm wrestling. I do plan on being top 5 in the state. I do plan on going to nationally ranked worlds level competitions and stuff like that. And as
You
long
gotta have
as,
goals.
yeah, and I want to see those goals out, So I'm not going to abuse, I'm not going to take any drugs to get there. But I think it's really shitty that the direction in which our sport is going,
Yeah.
that it's like you're not really going to stand a chance unless you do.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at, let's say, Washington State for an example. All the pros, you'll see what their muscles look like. Like they were all on.
Dude,
Um,
Paul Passmore is the best example. Like, when I walked past that dude at Arizona State, I was just like, what?
Absolutely ridiculous, right?
It's scary. It was weird, dude. It was really weird.
And his dude, Paul Passmore, dude, that guy's face is so like
Probably the nicest, coolest, fucking humblest dude that I talked to the whole time I was down there in Tucson.
he's
One
so
of my
intimidating looking.
one of my new favorite arm wrestlers. Used to be an MMA fighter before he was a fucking arm
Really?
wrestler. Yeah,
I don't know that.
solid dude, but same thing. I mean, he looks like he's just a balloon. He's fucking huge, bro. He's
Yeah.
just jacked.
Yeah, as long as you know that's why you got to pick your weight class carefully. The people who are blessed and have, like, let's say, they're 5'10" and they're 170 pounds. I'm like, dude, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, my fat ass is sitting at 220, lean.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I've been having that conversation a lot with myself, and I think that Arizona State.
Oh shit, it's Tony Barraza. What's up, buddy?
Tony, what's up?
Speaking
homie?
of fucking elites,
Yeah, for real,
dude. Tony is so fucking lean. Like, that guy he's goals.
Well, he's also like an inspiration of mine when it comes to that. Like, when we're talking about competing, is when I was at my best shape, I was like 187 pounds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty strong. It was when I first met Mo, and I had not like an ounce of fat on me. I think I was like 8%, 10% body
Oh,
fat.
dude, when we're single, we all look great.
Holy shit. But it made me think about it. I was like, dude, I wonder if I could ever make that weight again. Like, I wonder if I could
It's
ever
hard.
eat really good for like a year, do cardio 3 times a week, sit in the sauna. If I could get my weight down, how badly I would lose my power for that. But then again, I sit there and think about it. I'm like, I'm not that strong as it is. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna lose so much strength. I mean, it's
got to think of Miguel when you know.
yeah. It's very hard to do something like, let's say, go to a lower weight class or something like that when you have other options. Always want to be the biggest kid in your class. Absolutely. Like, when you're single and stuff, and you got to look good to attract the mates and stuff. That's your motivation. But it's
Yeah.
like it. We just don't have that now because it's like,
No. No,
you
we're
know,
married old men with gray hair that participate in a weird ass sport like arm wrestling.
yeah, exactly.
Who wants to date that?
Nobody.
Shout out to Maddie and Mo.
I don't know how they put up with us.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Especially, I was making fun of you when we were out, when we were leaving. I was like, Ed wants to go on live again. She's like, fucking Ed.
I think it's. I'm just
Oh,
trying to
dude.
have some fun.
Dude,
What does Mo think about? The one thing that I always wanted to do. They
yeah.
probably don't want to do it. Is like have the significant others. Like
Oh, on our
do
live?
like an interview with them and stuff. But that would just be too funny. I
Yeah,
want to
no.
be
The,
greater than 210.
the funny thing is, Mo uh, is knowledgeable enough to have conversations with about arm wrestling.
Hmm.
Her interest level, no, she could care less. Sometimes she cares more than others, but realistically, it has to be like someone who she cares about, an arm wrestler that she likes, or she's like you, man. She likes the gossip. So
Oh,
if there's
I mean,
something
I
drama
love
or
the
something,
gossip, and Maddie absolutely loves the gossip. Who's
yeah.
who's Mo's favorite arm wrestler? Because Maddie has one too.
Um, she likes Devin.
She's like Zevin.
I
What
don't
about
know that.
Arizona arm wrestler?
Oh, as far as who's around here,
Yeah.
she loves Scott.
How can you not love Scott?
She loves Scott. She loves Crystal. She loves both of them. Who else? She likes Brugger. Brugger's been around enough to where Brugger and me have been homies, so she likes Brugger. There used to be a homie of ours named Matt Shores, who we don't see anymore, but he was like Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and Mo used to love making fun and talking to him and shit. They used to arm wrestle when he was like a 160-pound kid. He wasn't super strong at the beginning, and so him and Mo would arm wrestle. So she likes you, like Mo likes everybody around the arm wrestling
That's
scene.
cool.
As far as Arizona goes, man, she's pretty easygoing. But like I said, man, they only care so much. They only care when we're like really when we want to vent or we want to talk about something that's like just happened right then and there.
Yeah. Is she gonna be there Saturday? Well, tomorrow.
No, because tomorrow is a Doobie Snacks event. So
Ooh.
up until probably like 5 p.m., she's going to be making cheesecakes, topping,
Ooh, okay.
bagging, sealing, all that kind of stuff. And I'd be right there with her if tomorrow wasn't the day that it is. So I'm looking really forward to tomorrow. So
It's gonna be
I don't know
great.
how much I'm going to pull, though, because my wrist doesn't hurt right now, but it does feel weak. Like something happened. It doesn't like no standing pain, but I don't want to keep like pushing this on. So I might help set everything up, watch the pay-per-view, pull some of the younger guys a little bit, and then probably
Yeah.
dip out. I want to try to grip up with John if I can, because I never have. I've met him multiple times, but I'd like to at least feel him.
Just
And
feel his
then
hand. I mean, the feeling his hand is just an
his thumb
experience.
pad is really weird. Every time I've shaken his hand, it's just what stands out. And then I want to pull that Austin Collins kid a little bit before I leave because he's from
Yeah.
Alabama and I'll never get the chance again. So that'd be fun. But other than that, I'm not too invested as far as pulling tomorrow. I'm just really looking forward to having a good time hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I said to Jesse too. I'm like, I sent him a personal message on Facebook. I'm like, hey man, I just I'm the host, and like I have to make sure 40 people are taken care of. I got to collect people's money, um, all that stuff, and I don't want to deal with having a match, especially. I know he hasn't pulled for a while, and I know he's super fresh. I've already pulled. I pulled a couple days ago with Sid.
I was
I
gonna
mean-
say, I don't know if you watched that video, but he's coming for that ass tomorrow. He's talking about busting your ass tomorrow for
Yeah.
fun. And I'm like, you guys just need to get it over and done with. Fuck a
I
practice.
want to.
Meet up at each other's house. Just I'll film it. You know, guys
The
don't
cool-
need a ref. Fuck
The
it.
cool thing about Jesse is he doesn't really care too much about all the rules and stuff. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
care about who the ref is and where
He
we
wants
do
to
it.
know who's stronger.
Yeah, and he's not going to back out. So if he feels me tomorrow like, oh, I'm fucked, he's still going to do it, and I know he's
Yeah.
still going to do it, and I like him for that. I respect him.
Yeah. So before we get into the Wayne and Eric shit, we didn't really get to talk too much before you left my live as far as tomorrow goes. So you got Levon, right, tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean I have my money on him.
What's your count for that?
I think it's going to be like 5-1
Okay.
or 4-2, something like that.
Okay. And the
I-
matches that Devin wins, you'd guess would be the later rounds or the beginning rounds? Middle rounds.
Maybe second or third or something like that. I would assume if he even had a chance, that's what he would win.
Okay.
I mean, I hope Devin wins just because that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But we'll see. What about you?
I've pretty much said it the same way every time, and I don't know, like even with how the reason why I wanted to do these lives is because I feel like so much has changed in the last 24 hours. So many people, they've seen it differently. They've seen the videos come out. They've seen the comparisons, the face-offs, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, I don't see it any differently than I have the whole time. I think the first 2 or 3 rounds, we're going to see Levon run through Devin like hot butter. Like it's like he's not even there. Jake says 4-2 Devin in the chat. I don't know. That's a rough. I mean, it's possible, definitely possible, but
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. But I see like just shoom, at least the first 2 rounds where we're just like, fuck, is this even going to be a match? And then round 3, my question is like, if he gets hung up at all, if it's a slip, like a weird looking slip, if it's a right before the pad, you start to see Levon's wrist do one of these as he's going that way. Whatever it is in round 3, if we start to see a little bit of difference,
what's the level difference? Does he even have a chance?
Or
is this guy just so good and that we can't comprehend it?
Because I do foresee him winning one match, but I don't care too much about that. I want to see whether or not he has a chance of winning the match, like in a totality. Not so much can he swindle out one win. You know what I mean? At the very end, I mean, that's great and all for the people who bet on him and stakings, but realistically, that's not a win. There's not too much to be proud of. So realistically, I think round 1, round 2, he just blows through him. I think round 3, we could see a hang up. If we do see that hang up and we see that round 3 get dragged out, I mean, shit talk, fouls, whatever it may be, I think that's where we see everything change because, dude, Levon's fat. There's no, he's fat. He's fucking fat. He's big, don't get me wrong, and apparently that was what worked for Devin against Michael, a bloat lord style, putting on all that weight. But I don't think that's going to favor him against someone like Devin, who's so focused on stamina, so focused on bleeding, so focused on different styles of arm wrestling that do that, like that King's move. You know what I mean? That is born to fucking bleed someone out. So
yeah, one thing that I was kind of concerned about is Neil Pickups asked Levon, he said, did you train for the King's move? And he said, I didn't do anything differently. And he's not really, I don't think he's the type of guy to really lie about that.
Well, I don't either, but what is there to train? I mean, there's only 2 things that you can do. You can climb higher on his hand and play that climb game longer and longer and longer until he has
don't get there in the first place.
Or just fucking, as soon as you get comfy, shoot and press, which 400 and whatever pounds or whatever his weight is shooting on top of Devin, I don't think his King's move is strong enough to stop Levon's press. But we've never seen Levon press before, so it's almost like, will he even do that in the first place?
Yeah, he hasn't had to do anything.
Yeah, he's never had to. Definitely not at this weight. And then also want to ask you about the other matches. So Marcio Barbosa, Irakli.
I really like Marcio Barbosa. I'm a huge fan of his just because Like he's nothing like crazy like proportion wise, but he's a good arm wrestler.
Dude,
So I
fucking
have
class act too.
yeah, he's a cool guy. So I have him winning for that one. Especially after Todd just went through Iraqli, right?
He did. He went through him pretty convincingly. I think a lot of people were pretty shocked by that. I wasn't too shocked by how he beat him. I was more shocked about how Todd said that he thought Irakli's hand was way, way, way stronger than he gave him credit for, which I think is going to give Marcio some problems. I think that Marcio's got the strength factor big time. I think straps favor Marcio, but I don't think that Marcio has the side power and horsepower that Todd does to just
Yeah.
manhandle Irakli. So I would think that Marcio does have an experience factor, probably even has a favorites, but I think it's going to be I think it's going to be I think it's going to be the funnest match of the day. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think Irakli's going to take his hand, and then we're going to watch just a weird, just grinder war type match.
Yeah.
And who knows? I don't know. I would not put money on who would win that match. But I'm with you, man. I'm such a Marcio Barboza fan. I've always been a fan of his. He's been around for so long. He's beaten pretty much everybody at some point. You know what I mean? So, got to give him his dues. And then Corey West versus Kardecha.
Ooh, that's an interesting one because he has a match with John Brzenk pretty soon after that.
West.
Yeah, Corey West. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm full Corey West team, bro. I think he flies through Kardecha, and I think he's going to beat John Brzenk.
I think he'll beat John Brzenk. Well, it'll be interesting to watch all that with John Brzenk.
Tomorrow, actually,
Yeah.
what I'm most excited for tomorrow is to be able to shove a camera in that guy's face and talk to him about Corey West.
Oh God, we're gonna be so annoying.
Oh my God, I hope he's ready for it. No, I'm teasing. No, we're gonna be respectful to the GOAT. We're excited to have him in the house, but I think he expects it. I think he knows we're all a little fans.
Let's not be too annoying.
Yeah, no.
He'll never come over.
There's gonna be plenty of people there tomorrow that have probably never met him. So
yeah, I always say like. He always gets hounded anyway. I mean, the guy has been doing this for so long. He's been in every single country, and he's always gotten hounded everywhere he goes.
Every scenario in which arm wrestling is presented, I'm sure he's been there. So
yeah, I think that's why he kind of doesn't like to go to practice in these events typically because of that. And I can respect that.
Don't blame him.
Not that we ever have that issue.
Right. Okay, so yeah, bro, let's get into it, man.
Did you watch the video yet?
I did. Oh wait, did you want to watch the steroid talk shit?
Oh no, I think we're past that. I mean, you can only talk about that for so much.
Well, that and it's not anything, like you said.
Honestly, like with the whole drug use and steroid thing, I just think like, man, whatever you want to do, man, go ahead and do it. When I think of morality and the choice people take to take whatever, it's dictated by the social structure and the time period you live in. It's like
absolutely,
Hitler used meth on all his soldiers and stuff like that to invade other countries. That was okay at the time. A couple thousand years ago, things were different. Now, things are different. It's like you shouldn't.
Dude, you don't even have to say the time. You could say the region. I mean, when you go to other parts of the world right now, drugs are looked at a completely different way. So
in some countries, you can marry a 12-year-old female. It's like they're fucked, and we think that's fucked up. It's like it depends on so many factors. So I think you should decide yourself whether something is okay or not.
I think what's most important is you looking out for your own health. Make sure that you have your health first in mind. If you are going to take anything that's new to your body, make sure that you're getting blood tested. Make sure you have a doctor. Make sure that you
do it right. Don't buy it from some fucking gym guy because it might be fake and you might hurt yourself.
Yeah, don't get excited because it's $30 less than what everyone else pays.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me say one thing. People say like, oh, doing it through a doctor and getting prescribed and having lab tests, they think that stuff is expensive. It's really not.
It's not.
Like the clinic that I use is how it operates is it's $75 per month. Any sort of lab visits, questions is totally included in that. And you have to pay for your prescription. And that's it. people are like, "Oh, it's 1,000 this and that." I'm like, dude, where are you getting this figure?
For real. There's
So
loopholes for
it's
everything.
yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
Absolutely.
All right, what else you want to talk about?
Oh, what we came here to talk about, playa.
Oh,
The
the Wayne
and,
thing. Wayne
the
thing, for
Wayne
sure.
and Eric scenario.
Oh God, I've never talked to so many man babies in my life.
It's like a form of like babysitting through messaging, almost like transferring messages and here
I
said,
was
he said,
I
she
was talking
said.
to I was talking to both on the messenger, trying to set what the rules are, what the rounds are, and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and they couldn't even agree on that. Like, we can agree on 5 rounds, okay? We can agree on it'll happen in a couple months.
Well,
The
it's like in the chat he goes, set it up, Ed. And
like
did you
I'm
see my
dude,
response to
I'm
that?
trying. You guys are just two big babies. It's like,
Well, I'm like, why is it up to Ed to set up your and Eric's match or your and Wayne's match? Why can't
yeah.
you reach out to the fucking guy and make it happen? I don't know, man. I think it's like I said. There's the egos in this thing are hilarious. They're so funny, but also, like we've said before, these guys have so many years of past shit that
That we don't know about, or I don't really care about either.
Well, and it sucks that for Wayne, it's kind of superseded arm wrestling at this point, and he, looks at Eric like he's such a sack of shit. But, once again, the more it is of years and years collectively and things that have nothing to do with arm wrestling come up, the more and more people feel like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, you have
it's
10,
not
10
all
years of
flowers and handshakes here in arm
yeah.
wrestling.
People dislike people for for reasons. People don't like you for reasons. People don't like me for reasons. If you want to be liked by everybody, you should just kill yourself, because that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not something to try to achieve. Definitely not the goal is for everyone for you to try to get everyone to like you. That's for sure.
Yeah, Maddie's laughing behind me because I said you should just kill yourself.
Kill yourself? Yeah, I thought it was a little hard.
I hear you laughing. You keep it down back there. But no, it's true, man. You should just whatever. Anyway, so now, okay, so we have 2 issues so far. Okay, we have the money.
No, there's plenty more, but
well, there's plenty. I mean, there's probably some medical issues.
yeah.
So we have the money part. So we can't agree to the money part. So Eric wants $2,000 on the match. I know, and we all know that Eric has a lot of money anyway. He's whatever.
Yeah.
And so Wayne is like, I don't care about the money.
I'll do it for free.
I'll do it for free. It's kind of like a legacy match. I'm gonna rip his arm off, sort of.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
And the second thing is the rule set. Wayne wants WAF rules. Eric apparently doesn't know what WAF rule is.
I don't think the rule set is so much an issue. My question is does Eric set a price that he knows Wayne won't consider?
Yeah.
That stops the match from happening.
And if Jesse said like, "Hey, let's have a match for $1,000," one, I'm thinking, do you know something I don't, or like, are you gonna hop on some fucking all the steroids in the world? So I'm thinking, no, I don't want to do that. It's not reasonable. So you're right. Is Eric saying a thing that Wayne is saying that he won't do at all?
Right. To try to make it seem like Wayne is the one that's scared, but in reality, Wayne does, or Eric doesn't want the match. I can tell you this. In a perfect setup with unbiased referees, in the straps where it goes, Wayne wins. This is the part that bugs me. 3 out of the 5 times, maybe 2 out of the 5 times. But the strength is close enough to where it does make it interesting. Because if Eric gets what he needs, then, like we just saw on that footage the other day, he's able to stop Wayne right before the pin pad and make it interesting.
Yeah. Wayne was going pretty hard. I mean, you could. The only thing I'm worried about Wayne is his arm too injured or like too not healed right now to even consider a match. So there's that.
I think it's more when you watch the whole setup. Eric had complete control. He was the control of the strap setup, them arm wrestling everything. By that time, Wayne had already conceded and just said, "Fuck it, let's just get this over and done with." And Eric was just perfect. Let's do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's make you look.
There's also like motivation behind it. It's like Eric wants to rip Wayne's arm off during practice, you know, and then it's
Yeah,
like Wayne's like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna give it to you. But do we know that for a fact? Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know.
we got 3 people in the chat. I want to hear right now from those 3 people who they got, Wayne or Eric, best of 5. But realistically, I think that that's a fun match. I think that that is a legacy match. I think that there needs to be a card in Arizona, whether it's the Tucson card that you and me were talking about, whether it's the match where you're taking him on left-handed and he takes on Wayne right-handed and we blow something out of proportion. Maybe get Joseph against like a Caleb Barbenbender or somebody else out of state, but we make it big enough to where it's like a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? Maybe not maybe like a pay-per-view or
We
anything
don't
like
we
that,
don't have
but
the thing that kind of stops that is if it gets too big, we don't have a place to put all those people.
well, we would if it got that big, we would definitely make it something. You know what I mean? Whether it's
Yeah.
a small tournament, something along those lines. But like, if they're talking about getting Tim involved, then that changes everything. You know what I
Tim, I
mean?
mean Tim would drive for that one. I mean, they would pay Tim, or I mean, they're
That's what
pretty
I'm
cool
saying.
with Tim.
That's what I'm saying. We could definitely make it interesting because that's not that's not the level of super match you just throw in my backyard. Is what I'm trying to say.
No,
And to disrespect, no offense to Liberty, but to just throw that in some gym for the hell of it, like that deserves. I mean, that is a pay-per-view style match. We just don't
it's
have
not.
pay-per-view
Yeah,
for a
Liberty
card.
is a little small.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a great setup for something like what we're doing. But realistically, when you want to bring hype to something like that, I mean, that is as big as it gets in Arizona. Wayne versus Eric, unless you
yeah,
involve
pretty much.
Dustin, that's as big as it gets. You know, so you want to show respect to that. I feel like.
And one thing. Eric said I was throwing Dustin under the rug or whatever how he phrased it, or I was shooing Dustin. I wasn't. I don't think I was doing that. I mean, all I
I
said.
don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see.
Rephrase or reiterate.
Let's see.
Where are you talking about this from?
I think that when I said Wayne was number 1, he was like, "Oh, but what about Dustin?" I'm like, "I'm going with Eric."
That's Jake. Okay.
Dude, you can go either way. Honestly, we don't. I mean, it's hard for us mere mortals to comprehend how strong someone like a Dustin is, or a Wayne is, or
here's another thing. This is just me speaking from opinion, but whenever I say that I think Wayne is the number 1 right hand in Arizona, Eric for me, both great dudes. That is Mr. Ray B. What's going on, Raymond? Thanks for joining the chat, brother. I think that Wayne, if he were like trying to make a weight class, was watching his diet and all that stuff, he'd probably fall close to like where you and me are, probably around the 205 range, something like that.
well, he weighs less than me, so he's like maybe 225.
Yeah, so I would guess he would be able to make like a 205 for like a Worlds or something really, really big. You know what I mean? If that be the case, I think that what I'm trying to say is Wayne is the best pound for pound. To be at 200 pounds, essentially, and to be able to put up with people like Dustin and Eric Wolf, I can tell you from being someone at 205, that's fucking impressive. That's a big deal. That's really fucking strong. You know what I mean? I'm 220 pounds. I have a very, very long time before I get to arm wrestling someone of Dustin's stature, a Big Mark stature, a Sid's stature. You have to have elite hand, arm, wrist, forearm, that kind of shit to be able to pull that kind of stuff off. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's like it's mostly opinions. When I say Wayne is number 1, it's obviously it's my opinion.
Right.
I'm not the end and be all of Arizona arm wrestling. I'm just some fucking retard on YouTube.
But wouldn't you agree that is a little bit more impressive than being 300 pounds on steroids, and have essentially 5 more years of experience. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but at the same time,
I don't know, man. I don't. Steroids are no steroids. Some people can say they're not on anything, and they're on a lot of stuff. We don't know.
yeah, who knows?
And someone could be 300, and maybe everyone thinks they're on steroids, but they're on ho-hos, you know?
Who the fuck knows, man?
Who the fuck knows? Let's see what else we're going to talk about. Yeah, so
Oh,
there's
if this guy watches this, I'm gonna hopefully see you tomorrow. I'm guessing you're gonna be there. The Gabe strength, grip strength guy. He reached out to me
Gabriel.
about some. He reached out to me about like
Bless his
audio.
heart.
He reached out to me about audio, like recording audio at like an expo or something like that. And he was using like big words and like abbreviations that I didn't know, and like
You can't be using those 3-syllable words with us, man.
talking to me like I'm like about this shit, and I'm like, dude, I don't. He's talking about using a mic and all this. I'm like, bro, I'm the guy who just does this.
Yeah,
You know?
I use my hand, I hold the
Yeah.
camera, and then I point it.
You're speaking a different language to me, homeboy. So I feel bad for the guy, but I'm gonna hopefully reach out to him tomorrow when hopefully he was at the practice and let him know that, because he sent me a thumbs up because I didn't respond to him and I left him on red and I feel bad about it. But at the same time,
What did he ask you? Like, if he can record or something?
No, how like the best, like a recommendation of how to record at an expo for like whatever equipment he was using. And I was just like, dude, I'm not the one to ask. And I think he thinks I'm the one because I have a YouTube channel. And I'm guessing, dude, shout out, props. If you like what I do, I appreciate you. But I'm flying off the hip, player.
We're flying off the seat of our pants here.
Yeah. What are you streaming the matches on tomorrow? Casting it to a TV? That's all Ed. Ed, what do you got for the man?
Yeah, so Jake, what I'm going to do is same way I did when John came last time to my place. I have my laptop. I got an HDMI cord, and I'm going to hook it up to the TV like that. If I cast it or something like that, sometimes there's a delay, and it's not very good.
Do you have one of these?
I have an HDMI cord. It goes to my laptop.
I was going to say, if you play it from your phone, you plug this in, you can plug this into your TV.
I'd rather have access to my phone for recording and things like that.
And people reach out to you.
And then I like to do like a redundancy thing. So in case this fails, I got this thing. So I have Maddie's laptop as a backup in case mine goes kaput or something.
And then are we going live afterward for the practice? Or
you can go live whenever you want. I mean, you can record us watching it. You can record me watching you. I don't care.
Are you doing the same thing with Samantha?
I don't think Samantha's going to be there.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, are you getting your footage?
I'm getting my footage. My brother's coming, and he's going to be bringing the nice camera. So we'll see if he comes in time. Otherwise, I'll use my phone.
Shout out to Odin's son.
Shout out to Odin's son. And then in case the internet goes out, I have my mobile hotspot on my phone. So,
dude, this guy Ed is prepared.
Not prepared, man.
Worst.
Dude, I was like,
core sports shits the bed. Then what are you gonna do?
Then everybody can just arm wrestle. I don't care. I'll ask for a refund. Shit, what I was gonna say. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. The most I'm concerned about is someone clogging the toilet.
Does that happen often?
I don't know, man. You got 40 people on the high protein diets. So something's gonna happen. You know, then someone comes out like, hey, how do I fix this? I'm like, dude, not it.
And pizza. And you're bringing pizza, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So I got pizza. There's gonna be lots of drinks. I don't know if shout out to Vince or not shout out to Vince, but okay, let me tell you about Vince. Let's talk about Vince for a second.
Mr. V. Bruno?
Mr. V. Bruno. All right, so there's a lot of fucking weirdos in arm wrestling. I'm not saying Vince is a weirdo, but I'm kind of saying he's a weirdo. He's like, hey, I'm gonna bring my grill and I'm gonna make some steaks and tri-tips. And I'm like, cool, man. If you wanna buy all that shit, go ahead. You know, like make sure you have some plates and stuff. I'm not gonna eat it with my hand. And then I'm like, I'll ask the gym, you know. And so I tell him, you know, Jim says, you know, you can't do that. no bueno. I'm like, just come and enjoy the party, right? So then he sends me a message. Let me read you the message. It's fucking funny. So I'm like, hey, just come, just come and enjoy the party. So he says, hey, I bought 12 pounds of chicken legs, and I'm gonna get those grilled up, and I'm gonna bring them to the hangout. Like, I already told you can't do that. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna just do it anyway. So whoever wants to eat the chicken first, let me know how it is. Dude, there's some fucking weird people.
Oh, fuck.
So if these chicken legs are not hot and they're not warm, I'm not eating them. Anyway, so I'm like, hey, how are you gonna keep the chicken warm? He says tin foil in the sun. I'm like, dude, we're gonna be indoors.
Oh,
I think
I can just imagine Vince.
like he's gonna just have it on the roof of his car or something. I think he was being sarcastic.
I hope so.
I really hope so, because I'm
Make sure you take the opportunity to have your rankings call out to John B tomorrow, Edo.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out John Versing for left hand. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Why did I think he was talking about me? I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
John Belek. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? Oh man, tomorrow's gonna be interesting, man.
It's gonna be great. And this Gabriel guy, so shout out to I love all my weirdos. All right, you guys make my world go around. I love all of you. So I'm gonna answer his question that he asked me. You said, "What's the route to becoming a state champion?" Which is, I guess it's a good question to ask. So, John, what is the route?
I don't know. I'm not a state champion, bro.
I guess he's talking about like a state championship, like an Arizona state championship. You win that in the pro class, and you're a state champ, right?
I guess. I mean, considering that you took first in amateur, you would be considered a state champ.
I'm an amateur state champion.
Amateur state champion.
Yeah, which I guess, I won the Arizona State Fair, so I'm the Arizona State Fair champion too.
Absolutely.
Everyone fails to credit me on that one.
I don't think it's as prestigious, Ed. That's probably why.
Maybe not. I'll be back this year though. Are there certain weight divisions? So
so this is a good example of how completely
we've already answered him. He's already asked that in person.
This is how completely out of the loop this guy was. Okay. Shout out to Gabriel. Love your
shout out to Gabriel. We love you.
Enthusiasm and spirit. But the last practice where we had the matches at, he pulls me to the side and he goes, "So how does this whole thing work?" And I and I think I had told you when he had reached out on the chat that he was confused about all this. He goes, "How does this whole thing work?" And I was like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? He goes, like, do I sign up? And I go, no, what would you sign up for? And then that's when he got like kind of like, well, I don't like, what's going on? He goes, what's going on right now? And I go, all right, so we're going to have 4 super matches. And then after our super matches, we're going to have a big practice like we did in my backyard. And then after that, everyone's going to go home. He's like, so there's like no like competition. I was like, nope. And he's like, okay. And then I just walked away. But I was just like, he is like, everything to him is like, go, competition, real.
Yeah.
About it, now. Learn, top level. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, he's already thinking about that stuff, which I guess is good.
I don't know if it's good.
I thought it was pretty I thought it was pretty funny that when we did a rules briefing in your event, it's like you're like, okay, all the athletes
he was right
that
there.
are competing come,
right
and then I see Gabriel in the corner. I'm like, dude, why are you here? And then he's like asking a question. He's like, hey, are there weight classes?
Yeah, I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart, and that's what I'm saying is, I think he's just enamored by the new community and being a part of something.
He just wants to know everything right off the bat.
But definitely do your research before you enter a sport like this. It's unforgiving. It's it will get you hurt for
Yeah,
sure.
one thing that okay, this all this stuff is it's interesting to me when people ask me these questions and stuff. When it becomes annoying is when you keep doing it.
Yeah.
So for me, don't ask me a question that you can look up. Like look up the question, and then if you can't find the answer to the question, then go for me. And then phrase it like, "Hey, I already looked it up. I can't find it. How does it work or whatever."
Or when you ask me the question, give me the answer already, knowing that I know the answer. You're just asking my perspective of the question or
Yeah.
my opinion a part of it, rather than trying to get like the golden details from someone like me or Ed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what's a top roll? Like what's a hook? Like you could have fucking just Googled it, and then it's like, oh, is this top roll?
Or
No,
not
just
even that.
fucking Google it.
Or not even that. But if you're having to ask me simple questions like these type of questions, you should probably not be at the level in which you're at. You should probably be taking a step backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just go step by step. Also, he says, this is a good one. Is there one federation in Arizona, or is there multiple like WWF, ECW, and WCW?
Comparing it to like professional
To
arm
wrestling,
wrestling.
I guess you can kind of compare it to wrestling. I mean, that's kind of a good question.
Well, I mean, yeah. Once again, that's kind of more or less being around the block enough, learning that kind of stuff. I would be willing to bet you that 50% of the newer guys don't have those answers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's just more or less being around and knowing who to ask those kind of things, and that would be definitely a good question to ask. And no, man, there's no federations, there's no things to belong to, there's no contracts, there's no divisions that you can't.
You didn't get a contract
There's no divisions
for
you
the
can't
backyard
not
arm
be.
wrestling with free wieners and hot dogs.
Actually, I'm the one that sent you the contract. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. I also we'll touch a little bit about that too, about the whole like when you're talking about the whole Scott Wynn thing. There's a video of that dude getting punched in the face by John Dabo.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
Now, obviously, John Dabo's got his own reputation itself.
He's a freak.
But
The guy has been around for a long fucking time.
Yeah, and you can just kind of get a feeling of what the guy's about. Kind of rough around the edges. Respects the people who respect him. Can definitely tell he's made some enemies throughout his years, and has his opinions about it all. But kind of like you said, man, I don't think the way to go about convincing people to want to take your back in arm wrestling is smart about it, insulting them, or a smarter way about going about it is insulting.
Well, I think these older guys, they're used to the older kind of crowd, and being tough is whatever. But it's these newer guys, like us, and we don't care about that whole tough it's all bullshit to us. We can see right through that.
Dude, I've been shot at before. Like,
you've been shot at?
Yeah, like getting punched in the face by an arm wrestler is not so scary. You know what I mean? Confrontation with about this kind of stuff, I'm willing to just kind of talk about it. I'd rather just talk about it. This is not, to me, there's no reason to take it outside of arm wrestling until you start bringing kids or personal insults or that kind of shit into it. But other than that, you know what I mean? It's just
it's like, dude, we're not living in a trailer park. It's not like life or death.
Dude, it's not that serious. Oh, also, I did want to say something about that. I have absolutely no bias in the Wayne and Eric as far as being on sides. Eric reached out to me for the raw footage for what had happened because I had been the one that had a camera in everybody's face. And I said, absolutely, I'll send you the raw footage. But let it be known that if that would have been on the flip side and Wayne would have reached out to me and said, hey, can I get the raw footage from this weekend? I would have been like, fuck yeah, you can have the raw footage from this weekend.
Yeah.
That's not what, you know what I mean? It's not like I pick and chose one person. It's just one person reached out to me for some footage and I gave it to them. But he did not post that on my channel. He posted that on Greg Brown's channel, just to be clear.
At the end of the day, I like discussion happening. No matter if it's maybe not the right way to do it or whatever, it's still happening. I didn't want to put the footage. I had the fucking footage. Eric is like, oh, you didn't have it? I'm like, yeah, I just didn't have it. Maybe John has it or something. I didn't have it because at the end of the day, it's like I'm in the same team as Wayne, and out of respect for him, and I didn't want to put that out there. I didn't want to make my video about. I wanted to be about the atmosphere and positivity and bullshit instead of there's this little altercation sort of thing.
I didn't really look at it as so much as an altercation while it happened because of them eventually getting to the table afterwards. But then, like, after everything had followed up, then I was like, oh, you motherfuckers hate each other. Like, it's not like you just dislike each other through competition. Like, now hearing Wayne speak about Eric, it's like a real life dislike, hatred type scenario, which I'm not all for. I don't really like all that. I don't want to be involved in adding to any of that fuel or fire. But you're damn right. I was trying to promote a match fucking happening, and I feel like I helped maybe do that a little bit with that practice video I put out and saying Arizona's biggest rivalry and having their own little section where it looks like they're heated animosity. But when you were there and you watched it all happen, I've been in very, very tense situations before. I didn't feel like those guys were ready to throw blows. I didn't feel like those guys were getting ready to fight each other. Was it heat and intense competition? Absolutely, but that's what
I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, that's normal for them. Like, that's how they always are.
Dude, you want to be that good. Trust me when I say all of us want to be that good to where we have that level of fire in our competition, where we have somebody that gets us to that level where the number one and the number two meet each other in a gym, and that's what it turns out to be. That's because of a level of competition. You know what I mean? Everything else is everything else that followed up over afterwards. The talking, the shit talk, the he said, she said bullshit. But dude, I wanted to capture that moment. That was fucking history. That was awesome to witness. That was amazing to see. If you were in the house for it, it was even better. I didn't put the audio on it.
I think that was a good idea.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make sure that it was tasteful and everyone had their day, but at the same time, it is what it is. That match needs to fucking happen.
Man, that's gotta be doubtful.
It's just, I know it's sad that we
they have been going through this whole dance of getting a match, and I don't think we're gonna.
I don't know if Tony Barrasso is still in the chat, but Miguel versus Tony, that's another match that needs to happen.
Yeah.
These are matches that are like way bigger than my backyard matches. These are like legit pro matches that I want to see as a fan. I don't care if I have anything to do with it. I want to watch it.
Well, the really cool thing about this whole Wayne and Eric thing and the Tony versus Miguel thing, or me versus whoever thing, is
no, you're not important.
I'm not important. I'm over here. So Wayne is going to be training his ass off. Eric is going to be training his ass off, and everybody is going to get to the peak of their performance, and that's how we all get better. It's under the guise of this. I don't like you and you don't like me, but that's how sport is. Ed,
we got the ball rolling, player.
Yep.
We got the ball rolling.
Oh God, I'm blurry.
I said it to you before, and I'll say it to everyone on this public. Look at the comparison in which the landscape of what Arizona arm wrestling looked like 2 months prior to Arizona State versus how it looks like now. With all the matches you're seeing, all the content you're seeing, all the drama and the people calling each other out and the potentials and the landscape of what could be in the next coming futures. We do enough of this. There's going to be promoters that are going to want to put on tournaments in our state because they realize the noise that we're making. And it's not just going to be Tim. It could be other people, So
also not many people, I think Greg said this, not many people understand how good Arizona is. Like the talent pool that we have. Like when someone looks at Wayne, they're like, they can't really comprehend, like in the grand scheme of things, how good Wayne is. Like
you're a great example. I don't think we know where you rank amongst some of these people that we know their names in California, Florida, Colorado. Some of these people who we've seen on YouTube enough to where we know them as a name. We're going to get there. We're going to eventually get there, Are you having artillery problems right now?
I don't know. It's what I'm doing with this.
Artillery blur. I brought it with me.
But any like, okay, Miguel goes to any tournament, he's gonna be top 3. Wayne goes to any tournament, top 3. Eric is gonna be top 3.
That's Arizona represent right there.
That's Arizona. So Tony Barraza is gonna be top 3, or he might win the whole fucking thing.
Who knows? Yeah.
And Joseph, he's gonna be top 3 or top 2 or win the whole thing.
Definitely. That's big shit right there, and that's kind of my whole point with the whole artillery thing and getting started in the first place is those guys didn't. Some of them did, but a lot of those guys didn't show up to Arizona State, and they don't, and the world doesn't know really what we have to offer until we give them the opportunity to, whether it's through this YouTube, whether it's Arizona State, whether it's, I don't know. I just feel like this shit wouldn't have happened. Like, I don't want to sit here and toot our horn, but I don't know. I feel like this shit would have happened without you and me, Ed. I don't feel like.
Also Greg.
Yeah.
He set the trash can on fire, and we're just tossing fuel on it.
Yeah, the rankings for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so I do have a copy of the rankings on my YouTube, just for everyone's reference. So,
and that's just the top 5 of each weight class, correct?
Top 5 of every weight class, yeah. And so I'll be updating that. I know Greg has this cornhole thing, and I'm just like, whatever. I'll just do it on my YouTube. I don't really care.
There you go.
But all right. Anything else you want to talk about? Any other weirdos?
Just you and me, bro. That's all I know.
Yep.
I'm excited for tomorrow.
We need more weirdos in this sport.
We do. Well, what we need is more knowledge. We need more people that want to talk like this rather than just have opinions. Talk about the ins and outs of things. Talk about,
Too many people have opinions, but they're not. They don't do anything.
Well, they're not constructive opinions.
They're the peanut gallery.
Yeah, we got. You guys are doing great, no doubt. Putting AZ on the map. You're gonna grow for sure. I sure hope so, man. I mean, I look at my videos and I get like 200 views, and I get excited, and I'm like, I don't know who that 200 is, but I'm glad that you're all watching my videos. I just think that what it comes down to is anybody that watches this video, kind of like the whole supporting core sports thing, like just buying their pay-per-view, regardless if you watch it, just by supporting the community, kind of goes with the same thing as like this stuff. You don't have to be a fan of me. You don't have to be a fan of Ed, but share my shit, share his shit, post it everywhere, repost it, have opinions about it, interact with it, because
have some suggestions.
Because you follow people I don't follow you, whatever it may be. That is going to grow the sport, is this community helping share this, because I got to be honest with you, I don't do this for a standpoint of like I'm trying to reach as many fucking people as I can. I don't have enough time.
This is just for Arizona.
I don't have enough time for that. If it gets to that, awesome. I love it and I'm for it, but I don't have the time to be researching algorithms and what I can do to be the best YouTuber. Yeah. That's not what I'm looking to do. You know what I mean? But I do want Arizona arm wrestling to grow as much and as fast as it can. And it is not going to happen alone. Me and Ed, like we were just talking, have done, as we are going to continue, and we're trying to do everything we can to grow this. But we need everyone's help along with it. So share our shit, shout us out, say that we're doing a fucking even better job than we are to everybody else, make us seem cooler. Ask to join our chats. Come and have a topic for us to talk about. Come shoot the shit with us if you have something to add. You know what I mean? We're pretty easy going. What do we got? For me, the Berserker 6-0 Levon easy win. Your events are going to help. They give you content to post. The arm wrestling community soaks this stuff up. Absolutely. Shout out to Chris Gammo.
Yeah, the thing I like the most about these chats is the comments.
Like the chat overlay?
Yeah, I love the chat overlay. I love people commenting. It gives,
Dude, shout out to Restream. This is fucking amazing.
It's fucking awesome, right?
I was just taking care of some BS and had this in the background. Yeah, dude.
Sweet. All right, man. Oh, wait. I have one question.
Shoot, fire.
Hypothetical. Let's say we hosted a arm wrestling what is that shit called?
Practice? Event?
No, hold on a
Tournament?
second. Let me think of no, not a tournament. A seminar, arm wrestling seminar. You know, like Travis Bacon, people pay him to come over and stuff like that. All right, who would you want? Like, let's say 2 people to do a seminar with. Hypothetical, of course.
The number one person to me that comes right off the top of my head who has the most to offer would be Tim Talmadge.
For him to do a seminar, like him talking and stuff, like you pay money and whatever.
Yes. Hey, just got on. See you tomorrow. Oh, fuck yeah. Aaron's coming
Aaron,
tomorrow.
what's up, man?
Hell yeah. Looks
The
like
number
Aaron's gonna
one
drive down.
185.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to drive down tomorrow, so that'd be dope.
Excellent.
Tim Talmadge, because he's a sanctioned referee. He has a lot of years in the sport. He's someone who, this is my opinion. I think
this includes like Devin Larratt, Todd Hutchings, Alan Fisher.
Oh,
like you can pick anybody.
Oh, I thought you were talking about people we had access to, like Arizona arm wrestlers.
Let's say you had access to. I mean, obviously you'd have to pay them, but
you're talking about anybody in general. If I can have somebody,
anybody
two
in
people?
America. Let's say 2 or 3 people.
Whew. Oh man, that's even harder. You know, I've seen enough of Travis Bajan's seminars online to think that he just says the same thing every single time.
Me too. He says the same thing every single time.
So I'm gonna push him to the side. As much as I love him and he's like one of my favorite arm wrestlers of all time, I'm gonna push him to the side. I really think that you can't not involve Devin just because of how big of a nerd at arm wrestling he is. I don't know how big of a great teacher he is one-on-one as far as a seminar setting goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, when you talk about just the secrets, the ins and outs, the things to offer, is there a bigger nerd at arm wrestling than Devin? I like Todd. Aaron said Todd's in the chat, but I think he's a little too biased for me in saying certain things work and certain things don't, rather than just seeing it from a this might work for you and this might not work for you standpoint. Love Todd, but I would not choose him. I would choose Devin, and then I would probably choose a lighter weight guy, and it would probably be a European. So it would probably be someone.
They have to live in America.
Oh, they have to live in America?
Yeah.
Well, then Devin can't even, because he lives in Canada.
I mean, that's Canada is America's hat.
I was going to say
counts.
I was going to say Coach Ray.
Nice.
I would say out of America, I don't know. Everybody in America sucks. I like Alan Fisher. No.
RVJ. Oh, dude. RVJ is terrible. He would just say like, "Oh, steroids suck," and everyone's on steroids.
I would say Corey Miller, but Corey's really introverted and he doesn't really like apply himself. He's super knowledgeable. See, yeah, Aaron said
he's not. He's introverted for sure.
He's just kind of quiet and to himself. But once again, one of the probably the most crazy smart armors. I guess Bob Brown would not be a bad one. Bob Brown.
Bob Brown's a great one. Where does Bob Brown live?
Utah. Yep. But
good.
When you talk about people in Arizona, dude, I think Tim Talmadge, Reza Delmaganian.
Reza's a good one.
And me and him have had that talk. That's down the line. That's gonna come. I'm gonna do that. I gotta find a way to get some money for arm wrestling, whether it's win some matches.
He has he does like little seminars, not like little one-on-ones for like $150, I think, right?
Yeah, I think that would be fun to have him come do like a seminar for some of us that want to be refs or try to get the ins and outs of reffing and those kind of things. He's
pretty good. We could probably pay him some money, come up here, do a seminar.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'd love that. And I've even thought about like at my Doobie Snacks events, bringing a table and doing like a pay $5 to
win 200
to win like some product and get like, because what I can do is I can trade X amount of Doobie Snack product to the other vendors and they'll give me some of their shit. So I can have this big pot prize of like different vendor products. and you pay $5 to come try to pin like I'm thinking about bringing like a Brugger or like someone who just doesn't look strong and just is gonna, you know what I mean? Like every
bring
time.
Ovi. Bring Ovi.
Yeah, or like well, I don't want to bring Joseph unless I get him in like a sweater. But because he's like short and he doesn't look huge, maybe he can give like some type of like false confidence. But he cannot be showing his biceps out there on the table, or else no one's even gonna go for it. But like I can't do it because everyone at the vendors knows that like I bragged Arizona State hard in my shit, so everyone knows that like I'm like legit, you know what I mean? And I don't want to bring someone big like you, a 240 looking ass, and then everyone's like, what am I gonna do with him? You know what I mean?
Marcel Barbosa would be cool.
Devin does live in America, unless of course you mean the US. Marcio Barbosa, Canada is America's hat.
Yeah. I meant like United States. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I mean, maybe something that we can explore in the future. I was talking about maybe doing some sort of seminar stuff, charging people $50 or whatever it is. You would absolutely make zero money from it because it would just be so. You'd have to charge like $150 because let's see. So I know Todd charges I think $2,000. If people pay $50, you'd have 40 people in there just to break even. How much would you pay for a Toddzilla seminar?
That's the problem, is the more and more that these guys' seminars get posted on YouTube, the less and less they become valuable.
Yeah, but you get to see Toddzilla though. I think that's why people do it.
I think you get to arm wrestle Toddzilla, and that's what it's about. Yeah.
How much would you pay?
And realistically, if that's the case, then I don't even care about you doing a seminar. I'd rather you just come out and fucking arm wrestle with us for $2,000. But it is
Chris says $0. Alrighty.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't think I'd pay more than $100.
Yeah, I think I'd pay maybe $60 at the most.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're asking me more than $100, I'm looking at you like you're trying to swindle me.
Because he's just gonna say the same thing over and over.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is like I'd much rather spend 3 hours with you and get the little ins and outs that I'm gonna get, you know, as I'm feeling or this kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. When I look at the seminars, like you said, I think they're all pretty much, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, it would just kind of be a hangout. Yeah, pretty much.
As far as information, $0 to hang out and arm wrestle in a practice environment, $100. Yeah, see.
Yeah, that's how it'd be.
Dude, get some rest. We got a big day tomorrow.
All right. I'll be there probably around 11:15, 11:20.
I was gonna ask. I showed up way too early last time. So what time are you gonna be here?
Well, 12 the show starts. I'm thinking about getting the pizza around. Have it ready by maybe 11:50. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are
Good
you having
deal.
it delivered?
No, it's Costco pizza, so I'm having Maddie go get it.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, absolutely. 11:50 sounds about right. You got to think especially depending on core sports, the first hour, maybe 45 minutes is going to be Marcio and Corey and all them and bullshit and talking. And then they're going to have some type of promotional lead up with like how they did Michael and Devin, how they had like the pre-interviews and shit like that, because it's the biggest match in history. So there's no shot that match happens before 1:30.
Absolutely. I mean, the last event we had, I was there for like 4.5 hours. So I'm
there
there
was
for a while.
way more matches. There's only 3 matches tomorrow. So realistically, depending on how fast they go, who knows? But I think once again, a lot of people are looking forward to being able to arm wrestle with the GOAT more or less than anything. So
Absolutely. Remember to bring your $5. Don't make me chase you down. Don't make it weird.
Let's just call it even. I won't for the ice.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, it's included in the. That's how the whole thing works. Like, so I gather all the money, right? The $5. It
Right.
pays for the pay-per-view. It pays for the food. It pays for the ice, and that's how I'm like, just tell me how much the ice is, and then it's all included. That way, it's not a pain in the ass.
Gotcha. Easy.
Alrighty. All right. See everyone tomorrow.
All right, bro.